my fellow readers. Today I'm back with another review of a visual novel, and this time around, left it over there because I'm so professional, is Norn9, which has also had an anime based on it, which I have not watched. But it's essentially Norn9, if I'm going to read the back. Crossing paths at the corner of time. A boy is swept away to a different time by the notes of a certain song. He finds himself in a strange place. When he awakens, old-fashioned buildings within a nostalgic world. Okay, so one sentence was, he finds himself in a strange place when he awakens, period. The second sentence is, old-fashioned buildings within a nostalgic world. It's a very strange sentence from out of nowhere. It feels as if he'd jumped into the Taisho era pages of his history book. I feel like that could have been one sentence, but anyway. He meets 3 young women and 9 young men in this unfamiliar place. They bring him along on a journey into the sky. Friendship doesn't last, and love eventually fades. Yet one cannot remain alone. Why are they on a journey? Where is their destination? What is the truth of this world? The ship continues to sail, questions unanswered toward the story's end. The future, where their fates are interwoven, begins now. Dun dun dun. So, yeah, Norn9 was not one of my favorites, but it had an interesting, I guess, concept, because unlike a lot of other visual novels and otome games where you play as one heroine and you get your pick of a plethora of men, this one you get to play each level, I guess. There's 3 different girls and you get to play each girl at a certain time, and then you get to choose between 3 boys for each girl. I don't know, I feel like this was a little bit slow for me, and I couldn't totally get into the game. Like, I felt confused half the time. And the fact that I couldn't do like an autoplay, even skipping certain things was difficult until you got to like totally through with different storylines. It was just a lot. There was a lot to this game. Like, it was definitely a little bit longer than some of the other games. And then even to get like all of the rewards, all of the trophies, I guess, took longer. You even had to play like this mini game section, which actually I really liked the mini game, so I'm not going to complain about that. I thought the mini game was really fun, but it was more like an 8-bit game where you, I guess, choose your person, and then you're randomized with like these enemies, but they weren't really enemies, and then there's these separate attacks, and it's essentially like gotcha for points, really. You're just trying to see if you could win points during it, and then you have to get a total amount of points in order to obtain the trophy that ties in with the mini game. I don't know, it was fun. There's also like various little like extra art pieces and whatever that you can unlock. I didn't really even like all of the extras that you could unlock as much as some of the other otome games, visual novels that I've played. So I felt totally torn about it because I didn't hate it. It just wasn't as exciting for me. It's interesting too because you do start as the young boy. I'm trying to remember what his name was. Was it like Sorata? I don't know if I jotted it down, but you sort of start as him at like this field trip, and I guess maybe that's where I started to get confused, because I didn't understand who I was at first, because like you're playing as him on this field trip, and then yes, suddenly you're in like what appears to be like Taisho era Japan, and you run into all these other characters, but then very quickly you're there's the big group. I didn't understand his point, I guess, if I'm being straight. And maybe if I watched the anime, it would clarify some of this weird storyline that I felt was going on, because I didn't understand really the point of him, and I can't remember if they really clarified it. Like, there's other characters that definitely come into play within the story, but I can't remember with him if he did. If you've played it and you remember, and I know it's a potential spoiler, but you want to say down below, like, what really was his point? Because I can't remember. And it seems like very quickly, like he appears in the background, but very quickly he becomes like unimportant as you become one of the girl characters. And then it's mostly just how you're interacting with the other boys and following their love stories. And a lot of them you have like 3 different paths. That's like the kind of bad ending, and then the tragic love ending, and then like the good ending. And I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's not bad, but I felt like I was slogging through that game rather than enjoying an actual story, if that makes sense. So I don't know that I could 100% recommend it. I don't know about the anime either because I haven't watched it, but I'm like, maybe I should watch it and it would give me more appreciation for the game. I don't know. I feel really torn. I'm looking and I'm like, should I give all these characters? Essentially, you have the 3 girl characters, Koharu, Mikoto, and Nanami, and then underneath that, you get like what happens next. I really like Mikoto's story. There's like a childhood friend story and whatever. I liked it anyway. Koharu, she can pair up with either Kakeru, Senri, or Masamune. I liked Kakeru and Masamune. I don't think I had strong feelings about Senri. Mikoto can get paired with Natsuhiko, who I liked. Sakuya, who I really liked. That's the childhood friend. So I like childhood friend stories. And then Itsuki, who I think... I'm trying to remember like which one was sort of like the villain one, but whatever. So that's for Mikoto. And then Nanami, she is... Oh, and they all have their abilities too, I should say. So Koharu is a fire esper. Kakeru can work with plants. Senri is water. Masamune is... What did I write? Senri was something that I wrote down and I can't read my writing. Mikoto, I don't think if I had anything down for her. Huh. Oh, Natsuhiko was kind of an antagonistic, sadistic character. But I don't know if he was the enemy one. Sakuya can see the future. And I think Itsuki could manipulate dreams. Did I write that correctly? And then Nanami has the ability to erase memories and is a kunoichi. And has ties to Senri? Question mark? I wrote that down and oh yes. Ties to Senri. And it's a whole part of the story. I actually liked that whole storyline. Then can be paired with Akito, who is the serious older brother type. Ron. I'm like, should I say about Ron? I don't want to. And then Heishi, who has telepathy. And there's another big storyline, and I don't want to get into that. So I think they recommend that you get through Koharu's story first, and then do Mikoto, and then end with Nanami, I think. I think that's how I played it. So, anyway, there's all like these other ties and backstories. It is very like, it's science fiction, as well as having like the light romance. But since they all have like these special abilities that come into play, it is very much a science fiction kind of battle story. And maybe, well, I don't know. I could definitely see this working as an anime. For me, I just struggled with it as a game. And like maintaining my interest, it was just a lot. Like, I don't, it's hard now because I finished it quite a while ago, so I'm losing some more of the details that I would have known a while ago. But also because I wasn't that enamored by it, I kind of just like chucked it out of my brain and I was just relying on like my notes of it. But yeah, I don't know. I couldn't get that into it. If you really liked it, let me know, and like why you really liked it. Was it because it was different? I didn't like some of the gameplay of it. I I would have liked, especially because it was as long and elaborate kind of as it was, if there was a better autoplay system. Like, I really appreciated with Period Cube how you could do like the play and it would like play through the dialogue for you, so you didn't have to do the advance button. I really appreciated that, and I think that this game would have benefited from having that option, because a lot of times, I don't even remember how the autoplay did work, I think. But a lot of times it was easier to like jump to a save point than to do the autoplay. Anyway, if you have played it, I'd love to hear your thoughts about it, how you felt. I mean, I've already played it. I'm not going to play it again, but it would be kind of interesting to hear somebody else's perspective about the game. For me, I just kind of, it was dull. But I think that the story had a lot of potential, but I also feel like it got very confusing and wasn't necessarily a good narrative structure, if that makes sense. So that's my thoughts on Norn9. I'm ready to play the next one. Actually, I've semi-started another one, but it's been a while since I played it. Like, I ended up putting my Vita to the side and not playing, and I've got to get back on that, which maybe I will do, because that looks really good. I think it's 7 Scarlet. Is that it? I think that's the one that I have on there, and it looks pretty good. So I'll be trying that one and then hopefully reviewing it, but that's it for this video. Until next time, bye.